all
nice
about
heifers
that. Sorry, guys.
For class number 9.
Forgot all about the fact that we were doing reds, all of the reds first. So we are back with the red intermediate. Sorry, Kat. If you're watching, you can like watch the reds for a while and then come back to the grays later, because it'll be a while before we come back to the grays. So we are on class number 9. Class number 9. And we'll tell you that in the CAF championship, this is the first class of the intermediate division, guys. In the CAF championship, we had the, was it 752 or 7? I don't have a 752.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
That was in class 6. That was from
It was in class 6. Yeah, yeah.
But that's the one that won class 6.
Yeah, and she was CAF champion.
No, class 5 was CAF champion. She's not on the list. She's going to get it for us.
No, class 5 is on the list. It's 760.
Do you have
It's an SRS. It's right. Okay, and then the other one was the AA heifer.
Okay.
Thank you.
That entry is in class 4 in mine.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we have 2 different books here, guys. So sorry about that. So we're in the intermediate division of the Reds. Intermediate division of the Reds. And again, we're going to remind you, we have a online sale coming up pretty quick. And that online sale is the Heart of the South Brahmin Replacement Female Online Sale, January 16 and 17. So keep that on your calendar. Again, that's at Best Cattle Sale. So don't forget that sale, Heart of the South. Okay, so our champion in the CAF division, was number 760. 760. That was the winner out of class 5. That was the Moreno Miss Lady, and she is sired by SRS Joe Kidd. And out of Moreno Miss Lady, I'm going to say it's Ritmo probably. I don't have all of the names. We're going to be catching up and giving you guys all of the champions and reserve champions in each division. At the end of the red show, we'll do all the red females, and at the end of the gray show, we'll do the gray females. And in the reserve champion was number... The reserve champion was going to be number 619. 619 entry if you guys have a program. And that's going to be Miss AA 380 over 1. That's a Mr. VA 279 over 7 daughter out of Moreno Miss Lady Rosabelle. So, I will ask my team to maybe put up our show program so you guys can kind of follow along with us. So this is the first class in the intermediate. So this is the first intermediate class, class 9. Again, this is class 9. Okay. Doing a little homework here. Let's see what we've got. So we're class 9. This is our intermediate. And it looks like he has pulled. Looks like this is going to be a Watts Ranch. That's going to be Brandy, and that's going to be CT Smokin' Bubbit, and that is a Mr. H. Bubba Rojo daughter. We loved Mr. H. Bubba Rojo. Mr. H. Bubba Rojo, you will remember, was grand champion Red Bull a few years back out of the calf division. Super cool. So it looks like Babette, it's like saying that name, I hope I'm saying it right, with Brandy Barnes on the stick, is coming into the first place. And in second, who do we have in second there, Miss Brandlin? Lana Thibodeau. And what is Lana showing?
286 is her number.
286?
That's going to be the one right above. Paradise Island for the
I have a
286.
I have a completely different book than you do. I have a different one in there too. Yeah, okay, 280. I do have a 286, and that is going to be, yep, okay. As we walk along, is he walking them or is he placing them?
Top 3.
I gotcha. Okay, these are our top 3 guys. The judge always has his prerogative to change around. So we have Babette. We have a Paradise Island entry. That's going to be a Maximus daughter. Oops, let me get back over here so y'all can see the top 3. Okay, these are our top 3. Okay, so it looks like he's stuck with his first, and it looks like he swapped second and third. Okay, that's what he did.
I like here on the top end is a really fault-free female that I think is a super stylish. She's not the biggest in the class, but she's one that's just really nice in terms of how she tracks around the ring. She's rugged enough for this class to compete with almost any in the group. She's got enough extension and femininity there up front. Really strong right behind her shoulders when she's on the move. One that you really like. Obviously not as rugged as the female. We'll talk here in a bit. But I think she's sure adequate in terms of bone. She's clean enough off both ends. And one that's just really long pattern from shoulder to hip and strong down that top. A really rugged made female is what we have coming in next. A little bit deceiving in terms of those white legs, but one that's really got some good soundness off both ends. Tracks really lengthy in terms of the rear two covering. She's a female that's probably as clean to that front 1/3 as most in the group. I love how she ties in at the point of her shoulder. She's really strong behind her hip. Maybe she kind of gets toward that tail. She may not have the thickness that we had in the calf that won this class, but absolutely love the overall rib shape in this female. Long pattern, really feminine featured up front with a rugged base in terms of from the ground up. One that you like in terms of profile is the one you have in next from depth of volume.
Okay, so that
she's a
was
female
the,
that's so deep from her forward to rear rim. She's a female
That's
that
gonna be Miss
comparatively
Bonham
gets a little
993,
bit
and that's a
shorter sided
VA.
than
That's a
those other
noble
two.
daughter.
She's a female that's got enough length up front, but
In
when you
second
compare her
there.
to some of these bigger framed, longer pattern female, she gets a little quicker up front compared to those bigger outline ones. I think overall, comparatively, for her size and scale, I think she's feminine enough, and I think she's a relatively nice balanced package. Just gets a little bit out-horsed from some of these big, long pattern females. The stoutest featured female in the class is the one that we have fourth. And if you're wanting, if you like thickness and maybe working that bull side, she's one that you would absolutely love. I like with the feet and legs. She's very sound off both ends. I said she's just a little bit maybe a little more open through that front end, but again, that kind of goes with the muscle on the back end. I think she's adequate in terms of depth from heart to flank. If she were a touch softer there, maybe through that flank, that'd be a little bit easier to kind of pull her around, and I think she'll obviously get there. Love the natural thickness, love the bone underneath her. Again, just maybe not as wedged in or feminine through those shoulders as in terms of my opinion today. Then you got a female coming in next that is absolutely that. She's one that you really like in terms of her femininity up front. She ties in high at the point of her shoulder. She's just not really long from the shoulders forward. You gotta love the natural depth she has. She's probably the nicest balance in terms of body depth and uniformity in the class. She's one, again, gets a little shorter up front, maybe doesn't have as much shape from behind. You love her out of her top, maybe tracks with a little more flat in terms of her overall muscle shape. I think if she had a little bit more shape or maybe a little more length on that front end for me today, she'd probably have been in that top pair because she profiles really nice when you get her set. But you have another long pattern type female coming in, a little greener than the other ones we described. One, I think, if she softens up in that flank to go with the depth of heart she has, she's going to be good. When the young man levels her out, she's really nice out of her hip. Good set of feet and legs underneath her as well. Just not as heavy volumed as some of these other in the class. And then we have another female coming in that I do like in terms of her overall volume. She's one that maybe gets a little bit shorter in terms of her hip. Young man's got tons of thickness down her top. When she gets to moving and tracking, you love how clean she is through her navel. She just doesn't reach out there as long striding. And as we kind of round out through the rest of the class, maybe they just didn't have some of the volume or overall muscle shape that we saw in that top group.
Thank you, Cole. Results for Class 9, late senior heifer calves. First place goes to Scanlon Cattle Company.
Okay, that was
Second
Scanlon.
goes
Okay.
to
So
Fontenot's Red Brahmins.
Scanlon owns the CT Smoke and Butter.
Third goes to VF Cattle.
Getting ready to come in with Class
Fourth
10,
goes
guys.
to Walters Livestock. Fifth goes to Paradise Island. Sixth goes to Walters Livestock. Seventh goes to Nathan Forestier. Eighth goes to Rodriguez Cattle Company. Ninth goes to Marek Barefoot Ranch. And 10th goes to Paradise Island. We're now ready for Class 10, early senior heifer calves.
Okay, guys, you will notice that we just put up a PDF of the catalog of the class listing. So you'll be able to follow along and see how some of these cattle are bred. And don't forget about that sale that we're going to be having on Best Cattle Sales with Heritage Cattle Company. And that is going to be their spring bull sale, if I remember correctly. Yep, that's going to be their spring Brahman bull online sale. And that is going to be February 2nd. So we want to thank them for having that sale with us. And we're in Class 10 right now of the red females. So Class 10 of the red females. And this is the second of our, I think there's 3 intermediate classes. Let me check and see. Nope, there's 4. I lied. Got to keep me straight. Somebody's going to have to help me out here. Okay, so this is the second class of 4 in the intermediate division. Remember, our first class was won by Brandy Barnes on the stick for Scanlon, and that is his CT Smokin' Bobette, which of course Heritage. That's Mr. H. Bubba Rojo daughter. And second we had the Fontenot's Red Brahmin, Miss Fontenot 993. That's going to be a noble daughter out of HK Miss Garoda Visa. And as long as we're speaking about HK, we want to remind you guys that there is going to be a sale coming up on on Cattle in Motion. Cattle in Motion is going to have the ST Genetics, Brahmin, and HK sale January 27 and 28. So do not miss that sale. And again, that is the HK sale and ST Genetics. That's the gemstone sale. So again, that's going to be on Cattle in Motion, and that's going to be January 27 and 28 on the Cattle in Motion site. You can reach out to somebody at ST Genetics or HK, and I'm sure they'll get in touch with you and let you know what they're going to have offered. They always have great cattle. So again, that's going to be an online sale in January. Getting over here so you guys can see what we've got going on. And if we're talking about sales, we can talk about that Heart of the South sale that we're going to have on our best cattle sales. That's going to be January 16 and 17. And then we have, of course, the Heritage Spring Brahmin Bull online sale.
I know
Tuesday,
you're gonna get tired of me
February
saying
2nd.
this, but if you're
Again,
not
that's on
exhibiting
best cattle
please put your
sales.
mask on.
So best cattle sales.
It is a rule here.
.com.
At the
You
Bell
visit
County
that,
Expo
and
Center.
you'll see some great sales coming up.
And
We also
we
are
did not
going to
make the
have
rule. They did.
the
The county-
Brahmin Selected
county made
sale.
the rules.
We had the
So
very
if you're
first
not in the-
online auction
If
with
you're not
Brahmin cattle
exhibiting in the
there
showroom, please put your mask
in
on.
September in
Thank you.
2020. And this year they're doing a February 6th through 7th, 2021 best cattle sales. Brahmin Selecto, that's some of the best breeders there in Mexico with just beautiful Brahmin cattle. And then in 2020, we also did the very first online live auction in Mexico. And they're going to have another sale with us February 26, 27, and 28. It is going to be a genetic sale. It's going to have just genetics. It's not going to have any live cattle, from my understanding. So it'll be a variety of breeders getting together, and that's going to be February 26, 27, and 28. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, we have to thank our good friends at Red Smith Genetics. So they will be showing some cattle today, and we will talk about them later. But let's get back to what the judges do. Alrighty. Looks like he is picking. And again, this is class number 10. Class number 10, and it looks like we pulled a Merino heifer. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so it looks like in that first spot, we probably have that Merino Ranches. Yep, that's going to be a Mr. Rockstar daughter, Merino Mr. Rockstar daughter. And then in second, it looks like we have a Herzog entry. That looks like it's going to be, yep, it looks like it's going to be a SRS Mr. Pasco. SRS Mr. Pasco. And then we have the Walters Livestock, a Walters Livestock entry. Okay, that is 609. Let's see. In our book at 609, so that's going to be LB Lady N40 Vivian Manso. That's going to be an Elmo daughter out of the great LB Lady Virginia Manso. I think you guys all know that female. So those are our top three right now with our judge, Cole Young, here in Belton. Thank you guys for watching. Again, we are on the intermediate. We are on the intermediate division of the red females. Kat was watching with us earlier, and I got her all confused and told her we were getting ready to go to Grays. We're doing the entire red female show. I do agree they are beautiful examples. Hermosas? I agree. They are. They're all beautiful. Thank you so much for big hugs to you too. Thank you guys for watching. We're doing the best we can, so we really appreciate you giving us shout outs and letting us know you're enjoying it. And again, you've got the
need like photos of the embryo produces and stuff?
Y'all need them right
No,
now?
but this gentleman was asking.
Yes, we will be.
Okay, when do y'all want to do it?
We were going to do backdrop photos either at the end or during a break.
Okay.
Because we're in the ring shooting, if he doesn't mind waiting.
Okay.
But we can certainly do it. If there's a break too, we'll do that.
Got a top pair of females here that are similar in their type and kind. The one we're starting with is a really
Unless you
big
wanna go
footed
do it
female
now.
that's ultra strong behind her top. She's just nearly level out of her hip. Is any in the class?
Do you wanna
She's
go
one
up?
that's got tons of
Hey,
bone underneath
we
her.
can-
She's very clean in terms of
Pasquale.
through her navel.
Pas-
Uniform
if he needs us
from
to
a
come
floor
now,
rear
we
rib,
can.
One that balances up awful
It's
well
okay?
for me.
Okay.
One that when she tracks in motion, she's probably not the longest strided female in
We
this
probably
group,
ought to.
but she sure holds herself together right there behind her hump and over her hip as well as any in this group. Next one I feel like is more similar in her type and kind, another rugged made female.
Hey, Pat,
one
thanks
that
for
maybe
watching
through
with
that
us.
front 1/3 just is a little less clean,
Janice
but one that you
Pond,
love the
how
amount of
are you?
natural thickness she has right there out of her hip. She is ultra,
You guys are
ultra
in
fit,
Texas again.
and still feminine for
Excited
me.
to see
She's
them
one that you
back in
like,
Texas.
her side view profile. Again, just kind of comparatively there, one that maybe just not as clean up through that front 1/3 in terms of my taste, but naturally as thick as they come in the group. One that I love is the one we have in third. She's the oddball for me. She's one that's a little, basically a greener type feeling female in this group. And the only thing that I could say, I'd love to see her just right there behind her shoulder, just a touch stronger. Outside of that, she's just pretty in the class. She's the most feminine featured from her front 1/3, from the shoulders forward. I really had a tough time with this female. She's got lots of depth, yet some spring and some three-dimensional shape. Love her out of her hip, very sound off both ends. Again, one that just kind of got outsized in that top pair, and that's kind of where I saw her. Then you have a really long pattern female here from shoulder to hip, one that offers a lot of top shape as well. Good strong strength right there behind her shoulders. One, too, that has some good bone underneath her, maybe not as rugged as some of the ones we've seen in this class, but one that you like in terms of her overall profile. Next one coming in class is a really deep-made, really pretty profiling female as well. One in my mind that you love the length she has from those shoulders forward. She's a female for me. When she got to tracking, maybe just was dropping just a touch in her pins today in terms of that. As far as being clean navel and front 1/3, she's as clean in terms of those balance and eye appeal traits for her leather in her navel as anything in the class. One that could easily move up a place or two depending on what you were looking for. We have a female coming in next. One that again you like in terms of her overall complete design. She's a little less in terms of balance because of how big she is out of her hump. And then the female that rounds the class got a lot of weight per day of age. One that's just dropping in her pins quite a bit for me today.
Okay, again, we are going to thank our friends at Elgin Breeding Service. They have a family
Thank you,
tradition
sir.
of quality since
Results of Class 10,
1954.
early
And
senior
they
heifer
do custom
calves.
semen
First
collection
place
and
went to
processing,
Merino Ranches.
professional exporting,
Second, Herzog
semen
cattle.
harvesting, custom semen
Third
storage,
goes to
domestic
Walter's
semen
Livestock.
shipping, AI consultation,
Fourth goes to
frozen semen
Fontenot's Red
evaluation,
Brahmin.
and reporting. So again, thank
Fifth
you to
goes to
Elgin
Razorback
Breeding
Farms.
for all that they do for us.
Sixth goes to Rodriguez Cattle.
And don't forget
And
that
seventh
Southern Classic
goes
sale
to
that's going to be
Scanlon
held
Cattle Company.
Saturday, May 1st. Put that on your
We're now
books.
going into
Southern
Class
Classic.
11.
It is a live sale
These
that we
are the
will be
late
streaming
summer
online
yearling
also.
heifers.
And they will have registered Brahmin and F1s. So we are getting ready to go into, actually, we're going to edit that. We're getting ready to go into Class 11. This is going to be Class 11. So Class 11 is coming in the arena as we speak. And we were talking about that sale with the Southern Classic. Let's get that back up there for you guys. So Southern Classic, they're going to have their sale. We will be live streaming it on our Best Cattle Sales site, as well as taking online bidding during the Southern Classic. So put that on your calendar. And again, in our last class, that first place winner was a Moreno entry, Moreno Mr. Rockstar Daughter. And in second, we had the Herzog entry, and that was going to be the Miss H.C. Hattie. 121 over 9, and that's going to be an SRS Mr. Pasco daughter. So Pasco, is everyone knows, has done just a tremendous job for the people that have used him as a herd sire. So glad you guys are watching. This is class 11. We will do class 12 next, and then we will be doing the intermediate championship drive. So we're in class 11, and a little rundown here. We have a Fontenot's Red Brahmin, Moreno Ranches, Mark Chambly, VF Cattle, Moreno Ranches, and Walters Livestock. So coming up, walking right straight towards us, we're going to have the Fontenot's Red Brahmin entry, and this is going to be Moreno Miss Lady, that's a Smoking Gun daughter. And then we have Kelvin Moreno on the stick. Let's get you guys some different views here and see what you think. Okay, get you guys back over here. And there we go. Sorry guys, driving the wrong way. As long as I have everyone watching, just want to say sorry that everyone's December edition of the Brahmin Journal was a little late. We mailed it on before the 1st, and we actually have people that received their December Brahmin Journal and the very next day received their January. It was crazy. Do not know why. So please, thank you very much for being so patient. Really appreciate it. Judge is walking through, looking at these intermediate heifers, and this is class 11. Class 11 in the intermediate division. I don't have a lot of control over some of these camera angles. But again, want to remind you that we are going to have some great online sales. Let's see, it looks like he has pulled, yeah, it looks like he's pulled one. So the Family Traditions sale will be held online. This is like, I think our 4th year for doing this. That's going to be in April. So Family Traditions sale that we're going to be having. Shout out to 4T and Boxar. They are the Family Tradition. So we are in class number 11. Class number 11. And don't forget the Carolina Brahmin Breeders Association 41st annual sale. We were there for their 40th anniversary. That's going to be June 12th. at noon. We're going to be streaming and taking bids live. So it looks like on class number 11, it looks like right now sitting in first is going to be our Fontenot's Red Brahmin. And sitting in second, it looks like we have Moreno. Yep, we have Moreno. There's a couple of Morenos. Which one is in there?
So, Fontenot's 195 is Moreno branded.
But then
Kelp 757 is the one that Kelp
that's
is showing.
third.
And let's see, I'm not sure what number.
I don't know what
Second
number
one's
that one is. I can't see.
It looks
Is
like
it-
754.
Is it 754? They're both going to be TJ Smoking Gun Daughters.
Yes,
So,
754
okay.
is in second.
Let's get back to this. Okay, let's listen
Starting with
to
the
the
female
judge.
that I like in this group, they're all really rugged and deep-made females. She's the one that I feel like is the most complete. She's one that I really like right behind her shoulders. She's the thickest out of her hip. She's a female that tracks with enough ease off both ends of her skeleton. She doesn't wedge in as nice as maybe the female we have coming in next in terms of where she lays at the point of her shoulder. But she's very ground covering off both ends. I think she's long enough from the shoulders forward to add to her balance and eye appeal. Really strong out of her top, holds herself together on the move. That's why she's in that top hole. A female in mine that coming in next, one that again, if I could change anything about her, just take away a little of that leather right there as she kind of gets down into her brisket. But she balances up awful well for me. She holds herself together really well on the move. She's not the longest hipped in the class, but she's one of the thicker hipped in the group. One that in terms of balance and eye appeal, especially how she holds herself together when she's tracking, she's one that I like second best. Then you got a really big, rugged made female, probably the heaviest boned or biggest footed in the class, there's no doubt. And she's a female that has some good balance and eye appeal in terms of where she kind of goes above from the ground up. She's long patterned, she's long from the shoulders forward. She, for me, just offers a little bit more in terms of leather through that navel, through that front 1/3. She's a female that I think has tons of shape down her top, works a touch to her disadvantage today as she's not just reaching out there and walking. One that from the ground up, you love the feet and legs. Again, just like to clean her up a little to get her in that top pair. Then you have a female coming in next that's a little bit cleaner made than the one we just described. One in my mind, maybe not as pretty out of her hip. Young lady's a good showman and does a great job when she levels this female out. She's really, really good and hard to get around when we're talking in motion. Maybe she's one that just doesn't level as much as we saw in that top pair, and that's kind of where we saw her. And the female that ends this class probably hasn't been last and is not one that will be last regular. She just gets a little bit outpowered in this group. She's one where she'd have to roll in that third hole behind the darker female, but we had two females ahead of her that had a lot more bone than she did, so that's just kind of where she sorted herself today.
Alrighty, so in that class, that was class number 11. We're getting ready to bring in 12. Class number 11 winner was Fontenot's Red Brahmin, and that's going to be a
Here are your
TJF
results
Mr.
for Class
Smoking Gun
11
Daughter.
late
And in
summer
second, we
yearling
also had a
heifers. First
TJF
place
Mr.
goes to
Smoking Gun
Fontenot's
Daughter.
Red Brahmins.
And that was, hey Beth,
Second
how are
goes
you?
to Merino
And that
Ranches.
was TJF
Third
Mr.
goes
Smoking
to
Gun
Merino
Daughter was
Ranches.
Merino Ranch entry.
Fourth goes
Now
to
we're getting
BF
ready to
Cattle
move
Company.
in with class number 12. Class number 12. This is going to be our last class before we go to the division
And
drive.
fifth goes to
Getting ready to
Walker's
go to
Livestock.
intermediate red female division drive. After we go into the red intermediate division female drive, we will take a break off of our Facebook live feed so that we can kind of chop these videos up a little bit, and then we'll come back with the junior red female. We are staying red
We're now going to
through
Class
the entire
12,
red female show.
early summer
Then we'll go to
yearling
the gray
heifers.
show.
After this class, we will do our division champion.
Hey Monica,
intermediate
glad you're watching. Hey
champion
Connie,
red,
glad you are
and
watching.
reserve
Connie and Bill
intermediate
Nettles of
champion red.
4N. They are watching with us. So glad they're watching. They're watching there from home in Mississippi. I want to say thank you to Red Smith Genetics. That's our good friend. And Ethelyn Bishop is showing for them, and she's in the arena now as we're speaking. So thank you for being a sponsor of us here at the show. So we have Red Smith Brandy that's going to be showing, and Lady H Finley, JDH Lady Prada, and of course Lady H Willow Rojo is going to be showing also today. So thank you for being a sponsor of us here at Belton. And right now, it looks like we have a rainbow. We just love rainbow. This is Ethelyn Bishop leading rainbow for Connie and Bill Nettles. So congratulations. She looks great. Really tough class here. Really some great looking females. So see if I can give you guys a slightly different view. Let's see. Okay, again, this is class 12. We're going to take that little banner off so y'all can see the cattle better. Want to remind you guys about the Southern Belle sale. They're going to have 15 elite red and gray Brahman show heifers and donor prospects. That sale is going to be in July of 2021. So just shout out to our good friends. There's going to be cattle from Bogachita cattle, D7 cattle, and look, it looks like he has pulled his first. So let's go back into the arena, and unless he changes his mind, I'm guessing that Connie and Bill, it looks like a little, well, maybe not. Okay, she's going to be second, it looks like. Looks like we've moved. It looks like we've moved Miss Red Bean into first. So we have CT Miss Red Bean sitting first, and I believe that's going to be a Butterbean daughter out of CT Lady Riley, and that's going to be a Razorback entry. And then sitting in second right now, we have the 4N Rojo Rainbow. This is a very tough class, and all of the cattle look really good. So we're looking at our firsts and seconds there. He's still judging. We have a few more. Again, this is our last class before the intermediate championship drive. Last class of intermediates before our intermediate championship drive. And this is class 11. I'm sorry, class 12. Class 12. So again, this is class 12, and we're going to zoom out, give you guys a look at what he has picked. Again, as of right now, he has Razorback with Brandy Barnes, I believe, in the first spot, and then we have our really beautiful, that we just love her, her name is so cool, Rojo Rainbow, our good friends Bill and Connie Nettles of 4N Ranch.
It's a really
And
good
that's
talk
what he's
too. I think you could go either way. One I like in terms of her overall femininity, a female that I think is obviously not as rugged as the one that comes in second, but I think she's adequate in terms of her bone. She balances up awful nice. She's ultra feminine from those shoulders forward, very clean made through her navel and front 1/3, as square and level out of her hip as you'd want her to be. She's really good. You got a female coming in second, taking nothing away from her. She's the next great one in this class. She's got tons of bone. She's very sound and fluid for a really rugged made female, and very clean through her navel and her front 1/3. She's not as refined or as clean through that front 1/3 as you're seeing in the heifer ahead of her, but that doesn't mean that she's not feminine. She's a female though comparatively. She's one that probably has a lot more bone and a lot more added value in that, but one that I just really love the style and balance we have in that front one. And again, just two really good ones there on the top end. Next female coming in line is one I like next best in terms of overall balance. Very sound made, very ground covering and athletic in terms of her stride. One that, you know, ties in high at the point of her shoulder, maybe just offers a little less angulation of that shoulder. You see a little more of it. She still wedges in relatively nice and feminine, and again, one of the sounder, freer moving heifers in the class. Next one coming in line is one that at first glance gives you the appearance, because she's full, that she's not very deep flanked. I think as you evaluate her, she's got as much three-dimensional shape in the class. She's a little bit lighter in her bone, but that's only because there were rugged ones on both sides of her. I think she's adequate there. Again, just one that got a little bit less, maybe overall show style, in addition to her not being as deep right there through her flank. One coming in next is probably as thick-ended as anything in this class. There's no question there. A very sound and free moving one. For me, one that got a little bit poor in terms of balance just by the length of front through from those shoulders forward. She ties in high, and it really is as high as you'd want to in this group. She's just not very long up front there, and you kind of add that with the amount of natural thickness she has with her shoulders. She gets a little bit less balanced in that group of long pattern ones. Then we round the class up with a female again that you like the amount of three-dimensional shape she has. She's one that, again, is not as square and level out of her hip. She's one that's strong behind the shoulders, maybe not as clean through that front 1/3. You pair those two things together in a small class, she just kind of sorts herself to the end on this one. And that's how I sorted them today.
Okay, again, thank you to Elgin Breeding Service.
Thank you, sir.
Elgin Breeding Service, they do a
Results
tremendous
of Class
job.
12
They have
early
a family
summer
tradition
yearling
of quality
heifers.
since 1954.
First place went to Scanlon Cattle Company.
And then don't forget,
Second
ST
went
Genetics.
to IS Ranch.
ST Genetics, HK
Third
Cattle,
goes to Fontenot's Red
Gemstones,
Brahmins.
January 27 to 28.
Fourth went to
Hosted by
Walter's
Cattle in
Livestock.
Motion. We're getting ready to come in
Fifth,
the arena
Herzog Cattle.
with the intermediate
And sixth,
championship
Rodriguez
drive.
Cattle Company.
And that was Scanlon.
We're now
I'm sorry,
going
I
to
said
bring in
that was
our
Razorback
first and
here.
seconds from our
These are our
intermediate
first and
division.
seconds from our first classes.
In Class 9, first place was Scanlon Cattle Company.
Scanlon with their
Second
CT
was
Smoking
Fontenot's
Babette.
Red Brahmins.
And then in our second
Class
class, we
10
had
was
the
Merino
Merino
Ranches.
Miss Lady
Second was
Rising, and that's
Herzog
going to be a
Cattle.
rock star daughter.
Class 11 was Fontenot's Red Brahmins.
Fontenot's
Second was
daughter was
Merino
going to be a
Ranches.
TJF Smoking Gun.
Class 12 was Scanlon
And in
Cattle
class
Company.
12, we're going to
and
have the
second
CT
was
Miss Red
IS
Bean,
Ranch. This is your
13
lineup
over 9, and
for your
again, that's going to be a
intermediate
DF Mr.
champions.
Butterbean. So those are our first places. In second place for reserve consideration, we're going to have coming in, let's get backed up just a little bit for you guys so you can see what we're seeing. There we go. Okay, so for reserve consideration in that very first class, we're going to have the Fontenot's Red Brahmin. That's going to be Miss Fontenot 993, and that's going to be a Mr. V8 458 over 7 daughter. In the second class, we're going to have Miss H.C. Hattie. That is going to be a Herzog cattle entry, and that is a SRS Mr. Pasco daughter. In the third class, we're going to have the Moreno entry. That is a TJF Mr. Smoking Gun. So interestingly, in class 11, we had 2 TJF Mr. Smoking Gun daughters. And then in that last class, we had the 4N Rojo Rainbow that the judge really liked both of those out of class 11. Let's see what the judge is going to do. Juan Restrepo, glad you could join us. Hey Brad, glad you're watching. Let us know where you guys are watching from. Again, we are here at the very first show of the 2021 year. ABBA has sponsored this show, and it is the very first show of 2021. We're here in Belton. Our judge is Cole Young. We're all day today doing the red females, gray females, red bulls, gray bulls. And then we will be on a day off. Hey Sally, how are you? John, good. Glad you're watching. You guys are watching the Intermediate Championship Drive of the red females. Oakwood, Texas. Hey Kim, glad you're watching with us. So this is the ABBA's first show of the year, of this year, not our show year. Our show year runs from August through July. So August of 2020 through July of 2021. And the judge looks like it's going to make a decision in this Intermediate Championship Drive. Hey Dylan, we were just talking about you guys. We were talking about Elgin Breeding Service and how awesome y'all are. Family tradition.
We just come out of that
1954.
yearling class here in the intermediate division, and again,
San Antonio.
love the way that she sets up in profile. She's one that's just awful square, awful strong down the top. You get her out here with some of these other groups, and again, absolutely adequate in terms of her feet and legs. She just gets a little bit lighter underneath compared to some of these other more rugged bone reds. That's taking nothing away from her. She is ultra sound. The one behind her is really rugged as well. That was a tough pair and a tough call there. The one that in my mind that kind of throws all of those things together, and again, that's just a comment on the female, is the one that comes out in the second class here. She's
so
one that's
looks
got
like
a
the
nut bone
Moreno.
for me. She's really strong behind that shoulder. As square
Mr.
and level out of your hip as you
Rockstar
want.
daughter is going to
Balances
be
up
the
awful nice and
champion.
got the feet and legs
Right here is
underneath
gonna
her.
be our
She's going to be my
intermediate
champion
champion.
today.
So we have our intermediate champion right there. Alrighty. And then we're going to go back over here as the second place cattle leave the arena. And we're going to move in the Herzog entry. The Herzog entry is going to come in. Our champion, again, if you've got a catalog open, is entry number 756. It was first out of class 10. That is going to be the Moreno Miss Lady Rising, I'm going to guess star, I don't know. And it is a rock star daughter. It would make sense if she was Miss Rising star. Hey Jason, glad to see you. Remember, we're going to stop after the intermediate and come back with the juniors. So we're getting ready to sign off and then sign right back on with our Facebook. That way it makes it easier for you guys to search through these videos rather than having the entire show all in one fell swoop. Judge is walking through and going to choose the Scanlon entry out of the oldest class. Scanlon had two. This is the red bean daughter. I'm sorry, the DF Butterbean daughter, and that her name is Red Bean. And we were told this is a Scanlon entry right there, and she's going to be reserve champion. So thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly.